I'm Padmaja Joshi and you're watching the show that's not just about what's interesting but what is in your interest. And our top focus today is what does the 8th of this month hold? Who is going to make the government in Delhi? Exit poll after exit poll have shown a lead for the BJP, but now two more exit polls that show that there could be a sweep. After almost 3 decades, is the BJP now set to make a comeback in Delhi and form a government? Let's get you the findings seat by seat, region by region of the Axis My India exit poll on Delhi. And let's start first by telling you what it says about the caste-wise share of each party. And there are three things that stand out over here. Take a look at these two columns. We're talking about the Balmiki and the Jatav vote. The Dalit vote, extremely significant in Delhi. It's almost 18%. There are 12 seats which are reserved for Dalits, but a total of 30 seats where they hold considerable sway. When it comes to the Balmiki vote, Aam Aadmi Party sees a shift in the vote to the BJP. This used to be almost the same. They used to have considerable hold over both Balmiki and Jatavs, but a part of the Balmiki vote has gone towards the BJP. The Jatavs still stay with the Aam Aadmi Party. Jats overwhelmingly with the BJP, and they have a clear lead also in the OBC and Brahmin sector. Next, let's take a look at the community-wise voting and how it has taken place in Delhi according to Axis My India and what the different communities are saying about their preferences. When it comes to the community-wise vote share, can we go to the next? Yes, here we are. Community-wise, very important vote which influences almost 20 seats in Delhi is the Purvanchali vote, or what is known here as the Bihari and UP MP vote. And you see over here that when it comes to the voters from Bihar, overwhelmingly they are with the BJP. We're saying BJP plus because 1 seat each in the Purvanchali seats is being contested by the LJP and the JDU, both of whom are in alliance with the BJP. So overwhelmingly, the Purvanchali vote here stays with the BJP. Aam Aadmi Party is at second position. When it comes to the Pahadi vote, there are at least 3 to 5 seats where the Pahadi vote is important. That also is overwhelmingly with the BJP. The South Indian vote, not too much, but still has a couple of seats where they are influencing, is with the Aam Aadmi Party. And original Delhi Vasi, they are also with the BJP. The next segment that we are looking at is the age-wise, and this is extremely important. Why? Because considerable, the conventional wisdom usually is that the older you are, the more right-wing you are. So people who are 40 plus usually vote for the BJP. That was the trend seen earlier. And the younger, aspirational voter would go for the Aam Aadmi Party. But take a look at this. In the 18 to 25 age bracket, the BJP has a lead over the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, barring this particular sector, 26 to 35 years age bracket, everyone else prefers the BJP. Here also there is a slender lead that the Aam Aadmi Party has at 47%. BJP is at 43%. Barring this, every other age group has gone for the BJP. This should be cause for worry for the Aam Aadmi Party, especially if first-time voters, 18 to 25 age group, decide to go with the Bharatiya Janata Party. After age, we also decided to take a look at the numbers for occupation. Those who are unemployed, large majority of them depend on the SOPs that the Aam Aadmi Party gives. They live in the Jhuggi Jhopdi clusters, do not have a regular job, perhaps are daily wagers. That is the segment where the Aam Aadmi Party has a lead along with the labour class. So if you're unemployed and you are labour class, Arvind Kejriwal says 25,000 rupees per month is what you are saving with our various schemes. They have shown a preference for Aam Aadmi Party, but barring that, everyone, even housewives, have given a lead to Arvind Kejriwal, but a very close second is the BJP. So this is very significant that in salaried class, in middle class, take a look at the government service. Look at the lead that the BJP has there. Is that the 12 lakh tax exemption that was announced in the budget? Perhaps. 48% government service go for the BJP, 38% with the Aam Aadmi Party. Next, how are the different genders voting? male, female, and this really could be the clincher that decides the final result of this election. You would have thought, and this again is conventional wisdom, that a majority of men go for the BJP. But take a look at this column. Even among the women, the BJP has a lead over the Aam Aadmi Party. 46% of the women said we prefer the BJP, and 44% went with the Aam Aadmi Party. How does this play out in the various seats? Now, to give you an idea, let's take a look at the region. This is a major talking point. If actually women end up going towards the BJP, this could be a signed, sealed, delivered election for the Bharatiya Janata Party. 7 main regions in Delhi that you need to be aware of. So basically there are 7 different Lok Sabha seats that pretty much forms the 7 different regions of Delhi. Each Lok Sabha seat has 10 assembly segments each, and that's how you can figure out how the results are happening. So we're going to take a look at those 7 Lok Sabha seats and how the 10 assemblies within those Lok Sabha are trending right now. Which way are they going? The first up is South Delhi Lok Sabha seat, which has 10 assembly segments, and it's here that the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party are evenly placed. This has regions like Greater Kailash, where you have Saurabh Bharadwaj, good personal connect, upper middle class, but also a large population of slum dwellers also live over there. You've got places like Kalkaji over here. All of that is in South Delhi, but BJP and Aam Aadmi Party evenly placed. Next region that we are going to take a look at, and this is where things get very interesting, Northeast Delhi. BJP has a clear lead here. This is the area which was worst affected by the riots of 2020. That year, of the 8 seats that the BJP got, 3 of those seats came from here. They came from Northeast Delhi. And they have made good on that advantage they had in Northeast. This is the seat as represented in the Lok Sabha by Manoj Tiwari, has a large Purvanchali population, also has a large population in the Jhuggi Jhopri cluster, has a large population of Muslims, but the BJP has a clear edge over here. After Northeast Delhi, the next region, the next seat that I'm going to show you is of Chandni Chowk, and this is the real surprise. 10 assembly segments here. All 10 were won by the Aam Aadmi Party in 2020, and this time around, you've got the BJP leading in 7 and the Aam Aadmi Party in 3. Now, what could explain this? It could be that other than the 3 seats which are known as the core Muslim seats of Chandni Chowk, which is Matia Mahal, Balli Maran and Chandni Chowk itself, there are other more middle-class dominated, trader-dominated. Remember, Chandni Chowk is not just about the large population of Muslims. They are mostly concentrated in those 3 seats. Balli Maran, Matia Mahal, Chandni Chowk. The other 7 also have a large population of the old, the people who came and settled in Delhi ages ago, who are traders. Are all those 7 seats going to the BJP? Look at the vote share here, 46% and 45%. Very close, but seats translating very differently. So Chandni Chowk could hold the real surprise of what the results are on the 8th of February. Next, let's take a look at New Delhi. This is going to be giving some sleepless nights, or rather 2 sleepless nights to Arvind Kejriwal. His own seat, New Delhi, falls in the parliamentary New Delhi seat. Basuri Swaraj represents it in the Lok Sabha. And of the 10 seats that fall in New Delhi, you have 7 going to the BJP and 3 to the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, here's some food for thought. Data shows us that a large number of Valmikis live in the New Delhi constituency. A large number of middle class live in the New Delhi constituency. A large number of government servants or government employees live in the New Delhi constituency. Data so far has shown us that all these 3 segments are going towards the BJP. They are more favorable towards the BJP. Does that mean that Arvind Kejriwal himself could be in trouble in his New Delhi assembly seat if Valmikis are not voting for you, if those who are living in Dalit Bastis in New Delhi are not voting for you, if middle class is not voting for you, if women are now going towards the BJP, could the New Delhi seat be in trouble for Arvind Kejriwal? The next region that we are looking at, and these are messages that we are taking away from these exit poll numbers, West Delhi, it's hardly a surprise because even though the Sikh population there, and when we've shown you the community votes, the Sikh population, the Muslim population and the Jata population, they are with the Aam Aadmi Party. But the Hindus, the Punjabis, the non-Sikh Hindus there, the Punjabis, they have gravitated towards the Bharatiya Janata Party. This used to be one of the places which before 2015 was a strong point for the BJP, and it seems that has returned. This is also the place which has scars of the 84 riots. Remember, a commission was set up for that. There's a widows' colony here. Are all those people also voting for the BJP? So overwhelmingly, 8-2 out of these 10 seats. And then we have Northwest Delhi, East Delhi first. East Delhi, again, 3 seats the BJP had from East Delhi in 2020. They have more than doubled it to 8. Again, very significant, because East Delhi is where Patparganj falls. This is the seat where Manish Sisodia used to contest earlier. Incidentally, Jangpura, the seat where he is at right now, is also in this East Delhi. But only 2 seats are being won by the Aam Aadmi Party in East Delhi. They'll be hoping that Jangpura and Patparganj are among those 2, because if not, that could be the second big upset for the Aam Aadmi Party. Large Purvanchali population, again, large number of people who are from UP, who are from Bihar, Eastern UP and Bihar, middle class, Uttarakhand population over here. In Patparganj, you have got an Uttarakhand, a person who's an Uttaranchali, Ravi Negi, contesting against Awadh Ojha, who's been fielded by the Aam Aadmi Party. Quite an upset possible here in East Delhi. And finally, let's take a look at the other seat which was affected by the Delhi riots of 2020, which is Northwest. And look at this. It seems that when it comes to Jamuna Par, East Delhi, Northeast Delhi, and add Northwest, which in the Lok Sabha, by the way, Northwest is a reserved seat. So you've got a large Dalit population over here. You've got massive polarization possible here. And it's almost a sweep by the BJP. What does that bring us to? When it comes to the final numbers, we've done all the different regions. When it comes to the final number, 48% vote share of the BJP, 42% of the Aam Aadmi Party, and the Congress actually improving its performance and going to 7%, which means that if you look at the vote share, the Aam Aadmi Party's vote share has come down by almost 10%, and the BJP's has gone up by 10%, and about 3% has been gained by the Congress. The seats 45 to 55, which means an unprecedented average of 52 is possible for the BJP in the upcoming results, and the Aam Aadmi Party an average of 20 is possible. Now the question is, what are the 10 big messages that we take away from these numbers? The first is that first-time voters and students are gravitating towards the BJP. That should be the real worry for the Aam Aadmi Party, because this was their catchment area. The second, women deciding to go for the BJP, deciding to give the BJP a chance. Again, another catchment area for the Aam Aadmi Party. Was it the announcement of 2,500 rupees as a Samman Rashi for women as compared to 2,100 that the Aam Aadmi Party was promising? One doesn't know. But if women move away from Aam Aadmi Party, who really is their core voter then? 3, parties like the AIMIM haven't really managed to win any seats, or they aren't projected to win any seats, but they are making a dent. But 4, more importantly, in the Muslim vote for the Aam Aadmi Party, it's the Congress which is making a dent. Chandni Chowk, if 7 out of 10 seats are being won by the BJP, according to these projections, then I can only see it as the Congress effect. That the Muslim vote is split between the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, and the Hindu vote goes almost entirely in those seats to the BJP. 5th, it's not just the middle class and government servants, government officers. It is also the salaried class which is voting for the BJP, and most importantly, it is the lower middle class, the aspirational middle class, which is now going for the BJP according to these numbers. 6, the after effect of the Delhi riots or polarization, but Jamuna Par is very solidly with the BJP now. The Jamuna Par Elaka, Northeast Delhi, East Delhi, Northwest Delhi. 7th, in New Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal could be set for a bit of a surprise. If New Delhi is going towards the BJP, that means that the middle class has problems, the salaried class has problems, and more importantly, the Valmikis have a problem. Is there also a surprise in store for two other big names? And that's our eighth takeaway, Atishi and Manish Sisodia. Could they also be in that list of surprises? Could there be a Nandigram sort of situation happening right here in Delhi where a sitting chief minister loses? And finally, the biggest takeaway ultimately in this election, it was the issues of Bijli Pani Sadak. Often we are very anxious and people talk about how elections are not fought on these core issues, and a lot of rhetoric and polarization happens, but it seems that ultimately the voters went for the BPL model, the BSP model. Bijli, Sadak and Pani, the incumbent didn't quite measure up, and if these numbers are an indication, they've paid a price for it.